There's a break on court 17. Kozlov left for a moment. We'll return, and we'll get back to Andrew and Taylor. That men's match. Back to court 11 here. Horiski, Kovinic. Third set. Dave Ryan, Channel Rubin with you. Horiski from Cape Cod won the second set 6-4. The 26-year-old former All-American at Tennessee serves in the far court. What happened to the comeback for Horiski here? She was well behind. Kovinic doing such a great job with a couple of breaks to serve in the first set.
The first set, it was all Kovinic, and then Horiski found a way to turn it around. She got a little bit steadier, got a little more confident out there, started hitting out on her shots, and has all the momentum going into this third set, even though it's 1-all. And for Kovinic, she had an injury timeout in that second set. Towards the end of the second set, she was stretching her right calf and Achilles area. And seems to be moving a little bit slower at times around the court.
Nicely done. Cross-court backhand shot. Kovinic
15.
made a Grand Slam main draw debut at the 2014 French Open in Paris. Lost after qualifying in the first round. The second round of qualifying here at the US Open last year after one victory. Her only prior attempt, so her second try this year. That's long. Great point. And recovery from Horiski.
Well, Kovinic did everything in that point but win it in the end. Overplayed that backhand, had set up everything beautifully at the open court. Every point right now is hard fought.
Mentioned earlier, Horiski in because of the USTA National Playoff this year. On a wild card, winning that event. Nationwide, open format for all to join and try to make the qualies. Made a great comeback in this match.
It wasn't just the fluke, her getting through and winning that USTA National Playoff. She was a three-time All-American at the University of Tennessee. She won her first pro circuit event earlier this year, this summer. So she's been playing and getting better. Horiski really earned the opportunity to play here at the US Open in qualifying.
National playoffs held at the Connecticut Tennis Center, Yale University in New Haven. Lots of family and friends coming from East Sandwich, Massachusetts, Cape Cod, to watch her compete and win it. What a thrill. Kovinic. 2-1 lead, third set. We'll keep you up to date on this one. Let's return to court 17, the men's match going on there with Andrew and Taylor.
Okay, thank you very much, Dave. We are one game into this second set. Kozlov held to open up the second after dropping the first set 6-3 to Mitchell Frank, who really showed something in that final game to close it out. Frank was looking at 3 break points, fought them all off, and then went on to close out the first 6-3. So now serving at the top of your screen.
Love 15.
So some of the adjustments I would make if I was Kozlov in this situation was
30.
Just take a look back at that first set. I made 22 unforced errors in that first set, 17 off my forehand wing. I am going for way, way, way too much. I don't need to do that against Mitchell Frank. I would hit probably 60, 70% balls, get good width. That width is important. It's going to open up the court. He's standing so far back. I'm going to have so much time to clean up the point from there.
15-30.
And what we said earlier, eliminate those errors from behind the baseline. Take a look at his position here. He's trying to pull the trigger on this back end of the line. He's 2 feet behind the baseline.
Another soft backhand from Kozlov, and Frank makes him pay. Frank will go down in UVA lore as he clinched UVA's first ever NCAA team championship last year, defeating UCLA, and Frank rallied in that clinching match to win in 3 sets and propel the Cavs to victory. Put away there from Kozlov.
Okay, he tried something different there. That wasn't really a straightforward approach shot. You know, he didn't execute very, very well. He hit that approach pretty much to Mitchell Frank, but he followed it in and he was going to see how comfortable Mitchell Frank was hitting passing shots. So we'll see if he tries to do a little bit more of that.
Break point for Kozlov. And that is out. And Kozlov with a nice start to this second set, as he breaks Frank and jumps out to a 2-love lead. Saw a little frustration there from Mitchell Frank. It was Kozlov who displayed a lot of the emotion in the first set. And now Frank in a love 2 hole. Kozlov left the court after that first set, changed his shirt. And a fresh start here in the second set. He's looked good.
Love 15.
Third double fault today for Kozlov. Ranked number 849 in the world, but again, just 16 years old, and he's number 2 in the world junior rankings.
Love 30.
You can see the shadows starting to stretch out across the court now. Sun becoming less of a factor as the day wears on. Maybe that's why Kozlov took the hat off No need for it anymore. It was getting in the way, bothering him.
Dug himself a love 30 hole here.
$15, $30.
It's actually been a relatively mild summer in the New York area, but that 84 today feels a lot closer to 90 with the humidity. It's a bit steamy out there as Kozlov rips a backhand winner and gets it back to 30 all.
30 all.
That's an excellent play from Kozlov. This is Agassi's special. It was. He'd go kick serve out wide, take the next ball early, poke it down the line, and even if Mitchell Frank gets that, Kozlov's got a wide open ad court to hit into.
Oh, great shot by Kozlov. He had Frank going the other direction.
40-30.
And that's the benefit of hitting such a great wide serve. Look at how far outside of the court Mitchell Frank is, and he is screaming to the ad side to try and cover it. Any good shot is going to make that point work.
Kozlov has really settled in nicely in this second set. He consolidates the break. He looks like a different player right now in this second set as he leads it 3-love. CBS is now kicking off the NFL week every week. Tune in Thursday, September 11th at 8:25 as Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers head to Baltimore to take on Joe Flacco and the division rival Ravens. It's the premiere of Thursday Night Football on September 11th. Don't miss it. Football season right around the corner. Always a good game when the Steelers and Ravens get together. Flacco with the 22 picks last year.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Any seat for now. Thank you.
So bring it back inside court 17, and Mitchell Frank has got himself now down love 3 in this second set.
Let's for serve.
Mentioned this going to break, but Kozlov has really settled in here in this second set. Taylor Dent looks a lot more confident out there.
He played a very smart service game, Kozlov's last service game. That was the biggest change that I saw he made. He started serving a little slower, out wide, because Mitchell Frank is standing so far back. He'd take the next ball to the open court and try and finish the point up at net.
Big winner there by Kozlov.
Love 30.
We've seen him unleash that forehand a few times today, and it's very impressive. Now 14 winners for Kozlov.
15-30.
Frank continues to struggle. Kozlov with a couple of break chances to go up 4-love. Four straight games for Stefan Kozlov. And he is rolling in this second set. We've talked about what's gone right for Kozlov. What has gone wrong for Mitchell Frank here, Taylor?
I would say what's gone wrong for Mitchell Frank is basically the downside of playing a very, very defensive game at a professional level. I mean, obviously, Kozlov's got a way to go before he's a high-level professional, but he has the ability, as we said in the beginning of the match, to win points if he just stays patient. I think maybe in the first set, Kozlov was a little excited and just trying to do too much with each ball. Now you see Mitchell Frank many more times outside of the doubles alleys during these points. Before, he was very stationary, and Kozlov was just trying to hit through him.
You wonder how much pressure Kozlov put on himself with all the expectations that everyone has for him. He did look a little jumpy in that first set, but took that break after the first set, changed his shirt, slowed everything down a little bit. Now he's just kind of settled into a good groove.
Mitchell Frank is standing so far back that the only way you can survive back there is if you're getting incredible depth, and he's just simply not. Just look where this forehand return bounces. It barely clears the net. And that's happening more often than not.
Putting it on a tee for Kozlov. He's firing away. Match just over 1 hour old.
And we'll see how Mitchell Frank tries to adjust. Is he going to step up closer to the baseline? Is he going to try and hit bigger? I just think if I was him, the first step I would make is just get a little more height, a little more depth on my ground strokes. I don't have to totally change the way I like to play, but you got to adjust a little bit.
And that's another one of the dangers of playing so far back beyond the baseline. Kozlov with the pretty drop shot, and Frank had no chance.
Just so many options on the table for Kozlov. Again, look at this return. Nice and high, drop just past the service line. Kozlov could have hit a inside in angle forehand there, inside out angle forehand. The only shot that would be bad on the table for Kozlov there would have been what he did in the first set. Just rip it hard and flat right down the middle.
Kozlov pumped up. He's won 5 straight games in this second set. Welcome back to our live coverage of the 2014 U.S. Open qualifying tournament here on CBS Sports Network. We're with you until 9 Eastern time tonight. This is round 1 of qualifying. 3 wins and you're into the main draw. Right now, all Stefan Kozlov is thinking about is trying to close out this second set. He leads at 5-love as we show you the update over on court 11. The battle continues between Kubinic and Horiski, tied at 3 in the third set. But Kozlov has done nothing wrong here in the second as Frank serves to stay in the second set.
love.
This is an important service game for Mitchell Frank. If he can hold a Kozlov serve out the second, then Frank would start the third set with his serve. But if Kozlov breaks him again, not only would Kozlov have all of the momentum going to the third, but he would also start the set on serve. And now 2 set points for Kozlov.
15-40.
You know what's interesting that's changed over the years, though, is a lot of these players, when they win the toss, they actually elect to receive at the beginning of the sets. And I think that just shows that, you know, although the serve is a big advantage, it's still not as big of an advantage as it was.
Guessing you didn't opt to defer many times with your serve, Taylor. Kozlov closes out the second set with a bagel over Mitchell Frank, 6-love, and the 2 Americans will go to a decisive third when we come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the trainer has been called to court.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the U.S. Open qualifying tournament. Right of your screen, Mitchell Frank, who just dropped that second set 6-love, is called for the trainer. So there's a break in the action on court 17. We're going to take you back over to court 11. Dave Ryan and Chanda Rubin.
Andrew, thank you. Deuce here. 4-3 for Caitlin Horiski from Cape Cod. Serving in the near court. 3-time All-American collegiate days at Tennessee. It's the 5 seed, Danka Kovinic from Montenegro.
Well, Kovinic just had a break point opportunity to get back on serve in this third set. And had a miss into the net, and now Horiski with the chance to consolidate the break of serve.
Bad miss hit there at the baseline. We saw Mitchell Frank over on court 17 struggling with the heat. It's a very long match here. 40 minutes for the first set, nearly an hour for the second. We're over 30 minutes for the third set on court 11. It is a warm day here. 2 hours, 7 minutes our match time total. We'll see who survives.
Well, this has been a competitive match, but it hasn't been the prettiest tennis at times. Both players with more than twice as many unforced errors as winners. Kovinic there with her 51st.
Those are big numbers. This for 5-3 in the third. Best out of 3 match from court 11.
Gamers.
5-3.
Well, fortunately, tennis is not all about winners to unforced errors. You just have to match your opponent at times and keep the match competitive, and that's what Horiski has done. And in the big moments, she's played a little bit better, and she's found a way to take control of points. Very close overall, but with Horiski, the slight advantage in total points won, and also a fewer unforced errors.
15.
Long on the service return there for 15-love. Horiski ranked number 579 in the world. Kovinic 106. He's 26 years old. And that's what the qualities are all about. Won that USTA National Playoff. Gave her a shot. Beautifully done. Rocket forehand winner. Off the line for Horiski. One step closer to the second round of the qualifying event.
A smart play from Horiski. Knew she was well off the court, could not recover for the next ball. Had to hit a winner there and did just that.
15.
It really is a great story with the national playoff, the USTA National Playoff, to get into the qualifying of the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open is the only Grand Slam to do that. Truly makes it an open event. And Horiski trying to close this match out here on her return. But Kovinic, a couple of game point opportunities.
Full defense.
40-30 now for 4-5 in the third, but Horiski will have a chance to serve for the match on court 11.
Well, Kovinic has had 14 double faults in this match.
That's not close. That's a bad number. Wow. Compared to 2 aces. 15.
Use.
That's amazing for a pro.
Couldn't have come at a worse time for Kovinic, fighting to stay alive in this match. and just not getting any ground force reaction from her legs. Remember, she called the trainer out at the end of that second set, stretching that calf muscle out. We can only speculate as to whether that is affecting her legs at all still, but service motion, just not getting enough forwards and backwards and forwards momentum. A good presence there from Horiski. Didn't overplay on that overhead. Did well getting up to that approach. Hit a neutralizing shot and then just went for the open court very confidently.
26-year-old, first ever appearance at the U.S. Open qualifying event. Wouldn't it be something? If she can make the main draw, and now she's got a match point. 1 point away from the second round for Caitlin Horiski from Cape Cod. Sails long. That was nearly wide on the line a moment ago from Kovinic. So close.
Well, that was a point of inches. Kovinic still kind of mouthing off to herself. Still has her back against the wall here at deuce.
Still a medical timeout on court 17, the men's match between the two Americans, Mitchell Frank and Stefan Kozlov. We'll get you back to that match shortly.
Game, Kovinic.
Kovinic does hold, fights off a match point, but when we return, Caitlin Horiski from the United States will serve for the match on court 11. As you can see on the right, court 17, that men's match has resumed between Frank and Kozlov. First game of the third set. And it was one set apiece, the best of three qualifying on each side. Kozlov with a double fault to begin that game. Back to court 11 here, as you can see, 2 hours, 15 minutes in. Sweltering heat in Flushing, Queens. And Caitlin Horiski from the United States will try to get through to the second round and take on Ashley Barty. 3 victories and you're in the main draw. Horiski's never been there. Well, 15.
Well, Horiski had a match point in that last game, that return game. Now needs to hone in her concentration and get a good start here in her service game, serving for the match. And a little help from Kovinic there. No reason to miss a basic rally ball wide. Just poor recognition of where she is in the game.
56 unforced errors and 15 double faults.
When you win that first point of a return game, your opponent is serving for the match, you have to keep the pressure on them. That second point from Kovinic is now taking on bigger proportions.
Blasted cross-court forehand winner.
No hesitation with that forehand, and it's almost like a, I'm almost out of this anyway, let me go for it type of shot from Kovinic. That was all or nothing.
28 winners for the match and 15 on the forehand side for Kovinic.
And that's a big serve from Horiski. A smart serve down the tee. Well placed with good speed on it. That sets up a second match point for the American.
Can she convert and get one step closer to the main draw for the first time in her career? Yes, you can. Caitlin Horiski from Cape Cod has advanced to the second round of the U.S. Open qualifying. 2-6, 6-4, 6-4 on court 11. An impressive three-set victory.
A very impressive victory. She recovered Horiski after that first set. Kovinic was hitting the ball big, controlling the play, and Horiski got a little bit more solid, gained some confidence as that match went on, and finished it out strongly. Now looking at going up against the Australian, the young Australian Ashley Barty, who's been an up-and-comer, already had great success in doubles. Barty is a very athletic player around the court, so that should be a great matchup, and certainly a challenge and excellent opportunity for Horiski.
2 more wins and she's in. It'll be the first time in her career to make the main draw of any Grand Slam event. When we come back, we're back to court 17. Frank has a 1-love lead on Kozlov in the third set there. More on the way from Flushing.
Menu, new match, no? New match. No, not Pitbull.
USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadows, New York, and a good one going on court 17. Stefan Kozlov, the number 2 ranked junior in the world, lost the first set 6-3, came roaring back in the second, taking it 6-love from Mitchell Frank. And then after that second set, an extended medical timeout for Mitchell Frank. When he came back out, he broke Kozlov to start the third set. However, Kozlov just returned the favor and broke Frank, so we're back on serve in the third set. And this was the scene after the second set, with Mitchell Frank getting some work done on the court. Lower back, came out, broke Kozlov, but just gave that break right back. And now Kozlov serving at 30-love.
Lattice. Second serve.
A reminder, in qualifying, all matches are best of 3. So this set will determine who moves on to the second round tomorrow. Kisses the line for Kozlov.
40-love.
Game points for Kozlov. And he takes that game to take it 2-1 now in the third set on serve. Frank will serve after the changeover. Now, we mentioned the medical timeout for Mitchell Frank. Katrina Adams is courtside, and she has more on the medical timeout. Katrina?
Yes, Andrew, I didn't hear the conversation, but having been a player that had back problems myself, he could have had some spasms that were occurring in his back, perhaps the pinching of a joint of somewhat that would have given him some discomfort and put him into a cramping situation. So the trainer came out, massaged him a little bit, stretched him out, hoping to try to get some relief. But when you talk about that opening game for Kozlov, it wasn't that Mitchell broke him. Kozlov pretty much gave it to him. He double faulted twice, had an easy smash on the third point, couldn't put it away. It was really affecting, with the timeout really affected his ability to come back and get focused and keep that high level of intensity that he had finishing off that second set.
Thanks, Katrina. And to Kozlov's credit, he came right back to break Frank, who, as you just saw, continues to have work done during this changeover. And there is the 16-year-old Stefan Kozlov, born in Macedonia but moved to Florida when he was 1. Lives in Pembroke Pines, Florida, trains there with his dad, and also trains at the USTA Training Center in Boca Raton.
And that is one of Stefan's coaches, Nico Todero. I actually played Nico when I was probably Stefan's age, and they called them satellites back then. What are called futures now. He was a solid player. Very nice guy. Works for the USTA down in Boca.
Solid player indicates that you beat him.
I don't know if I beat him that match or not. But I don't know what his career high was. I'd be guessing, I'll Google it, but I'm guessing mid-400s.
Well, he's been working with Kozlov, who also trains with his father, Andre. Andre has a tennis academy in Pembroke Pines. Kozlov loses that one.
I didn't give Nico enough credit. He was 219 career high. That's not bad.
Well, our research staff is all over this. Back in 2000 at a challenger in Costa Rica, you beat him.
Come on. I'm going to tell him that.
3 sets, though. 3 sets. Third set tie break. Kozlov coming to the net with a fist pump.
15-40.
Just seeing if there's any signs of Frank moving gingerly around the court.
2 break points here for Kozlov.
$30-40.
Frank has saved 5 break points in this match. Has to come up big again here. Big forehand winner for Kozlov, and he breaks to go up 3-1 in the third. Good stuff out of the 16-year-old.
3-1, final set.
How good is that run around forehand paid off for him? He's hit winners inside in, that one inside out angle.
Body language has done a complete 180 since that first set.
Jim up.
It certainly appears that Frank is struggling, not moving around the court as well as he did in that first set. Showed you the work that he's had done during changeovers and after the second set.
Yeah, it doesn't look comfortable out there for Mitchell Frank. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't really have a natural game that can end points quickly. So he just relies so much on that foot speed. That looked like me moving up to the net these days, Andrew, right there.
But you're healthy and he's not. That's the difference.
Exactly.
Lackadaisical shot there for Kozlov, staying flat-footed.
We've seen a couple of those beautiful drop shots off the forehand wing today. If I was Nico Todero, I'd be saying, well, let's leave that one in the bag for a little while. He's making progress on it, though. The last one hit the court before it hit the net, so it's getting closer.
Couple of game points here for Kozlov to consolidate the break and go up 4-1. Really take control of this third set. Stefan Kozlov has now won 10 of the last 11 games in this match. And he's 2 games away from the spot in the second round. USOpenshop.org is the official online shop for 2014 US Open merchandise. Choose from the largest selection of 2014 tees, caps, on-court towels, outerwear, and collectibles. Visit USOpenshop.org. Still waiting for my Dent Tennis Academy shirt. I'm patiently waiting by the mailbox.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Any
They're
seat
in,
for now.
you know,
Players are ready.
they're in high demand at our academy, you know.
Obviously. Kozlov in cruise control here in the third. Frank serving at 1-4.
Team love.
I got a sweaty one in my bag from this morning, if that'll do.
I thought we were closer than that, Taylor. Thought I would be able to get a T-shirt.
all.
Well, Mitchell Frank trying to pull it out here in the third set. And if he fails to do that, he'll head back to Charlottesville, get ready for his senior year at UVA.
Yeah, it's such a shame for Mitchell Frank to have to suffer what we were speculating looked like a back injury of some sort.
Good depth on that forehand from Kozlov to get it to 30-all. We mentioned that Frank
48-30.
trains at the Junior Tennis Champion Center in College Park, Maryland. Another player who works there is Francis Tiafo, and he'll be in action later tonight here on Court 17. You'll see that on CBS Sports Network. Oh, and Kozlov gets a break there. That kind of day from Mitchell Frank.
Advantage Kozlov.
Third double fault for Frank. And now break point for Kozlov. If he cashes in, he'll serve for the match. Another break for Stefan Kozlov. He's a game away from a spot in the second round. And Taylor, there's no question that the forehand has been a big weapon today for Stefan Kozlov.
He started off in the match not really using it well, trying to rip the ball down the middle of the court hard and flat. Then he started to get a little bit more width on those forehands, and it paid dividends. When somebody like Mitchell Frank stands that far back behind the baseline, if you can find the sidelines of the court, it's going to be too much for him to cover.
6 forehand winners this set, 17 for the match. For Kozlov, he can close out the match right here.
Love 15.
Keep in mind, the players who played yesterday have today off. They'll be back tomorrow. The players out there today have to play 3 straight days if they are to advance. day today. Players will have to
15 all.
hydrate. At least the winners will get back out there tomorrow.
It's not as bad this year as it has been in years past, so this isn't anything new for the players. And they've played in the tournaments before this. They've played, you know, 2 out of 3 set matches in a row. That's not really a big ask.
But an advantage for the players who played yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? Players are actually in different
15.
minds about that. Some players would rather not have the day off. They want to just keep the rhythm going, play the match every day. Some players, if their body's a little banged up, they're going to want that extra day off. And again, they are only 2 out of 3 set matches, tie-break sets in all 3 sets. Fitness should not be a factor.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Kozlov's 16. He probably has enough energy to go back out there tomorrow.
And if he doesn't, then that says what he needs to work on.
A
A couple loose points here from Kozlov, and now Mitchell Frank has a break point. That's wide, and there's the break for Frank. Not going down quietly here in the final set. Frank will serve when we return. The winner between Frank and Kozlov advances to tomorrow's second round against Korich. DeBacher had to retire after 1 game of his match earlier today. Mitchell Frank just broke Kozlov's serve, and now Frank will serve down 2-5 in this decisive third set. Battle of 2 young Americans. Frank, 21, from Annandale, Virginia, plays at UVA, and Kozlov, just 16 years old, from Florida. Frank to serve at the top of your screen. Kozlov, the number 2 ranked junior in the world.
Team love.
This is another look at the forehand drop shot. That's what you get when you watch Federer on TV too much, right there. Oh, he broke the strings.
Well, clearly a struggle for Frank to get to the net, but he's hanging in there.
And you know what the interesting thing about breaking strings these days? All these guys use some type of polyester string. So there's Luxlon out there. There's, there's a variety of. Dick Wilson makes their own brand. Babolat makes their own brand. And back, when my father used to play, when I was beginning to play, he used to use natural gut, synthetic gut. And if you popped a string, that string you could not hit another ball with. You would have to slice it. You'd have to do what Kozlov did, you know, hit a drop shot and come in. But now it's actually got 2 good shots in it. You can rip a couple of forehands. I can't even believe what these guys do.
Third 8-15.
Kozlov sends that one into the stands in court 17, and a couple of game points now for Mitchell Frank. Seen some emotion from Kozlov over the last couple of sets, pumping himself up. It's deuce.
Advantage Kozlov.
And match point for Stefan Kozlov. Dropped the first set 6-3, has come roaring back, and now a point away from a spot in the second round of qualifying. Now keep in mind, final game of that first set, Kozlov had 3 break points to stay in it. Mitchell Frank fought off all 3, held to take it 6-3. See how many more times Frank can fight off Kozlov here as he gets it to deuce, and still grimacing, and he's not looked right since the start of the second set. And another match point coming for Kozlov. His coach Nico Tadero watching on, seeing if his young 16-year-old can move on to tomorrow's second round. And on match point number 2, the World Junior number 2 advances to tomorrow's second round. Stefan Kozlov in 3 sets over Mitchell Frank.
I think Stefan, like we said, did a good job adjusting his forehand from that first set to the second set. And I don't know exactly when Mitchell Frank was feeling that back injury, but it certainly went downhill fast.
Frank gave it all he had, but 19 forehand winners for Stefan Kozlov, and that certainly was a catalyst over the final 2 sets as Kozlov punches his ticket to tomorrow's second round, and he will face Koric, who earlier today advanced after DeBacker had to retire 1 game in to their match.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know much about Koric, but if Stefan Kozlov can go out there and just play smart tennis, he doesn't have massive holes in his game. So he should be good enough to figure out a way through qualifying. I think there's a reason why these guys are in the qualifying draw.
Stefan Kozlov is with Katrina Adams.
Stefan, congratulations. Now, I ran into you outside yesterday and said, I'll see you for my interview tomorrow. I said, you've got to win in order to get an interview with me, and you did just that. How excited are you today?
I'm very excited to get my first win in the men's tournament here my whole life. So I'm really happy. I was really confident going into this tournament. I thought I had a good chance today, and yeah, I played really well.
So Mitchell got out in front, and then you seemed to turn the table on him. Explain that.
Yeah, I came out a little shaky in the first set. He played a really good first set, and then second set we battled for the first 3 games, and I won all 3 of them, and then his back started hurting, and from there he couldn't really do anything because I think he was really injured there.
How difficult was it for you, though, after that timeout to come back out? You had a couple double faults and kind of lost your focus.
Yeah, I was really nervous. I mean, it's always difficult when someone calls a medical timeout, and it lasts about 5-6 minutes. So, I mean, I knew what I had to do, but I double faulted and missed an overhead. But I'm happy that I got it back.
Congratulations and good luck to you. Andrew?
All right, confident young man said he would see Katrina for the interview, and, well, you just heard it. Stefan Kozlov, with some emotion over those final 2 sets, moves on to the second round. When we come back, a U.S. Open qualifying update with Adam Zucker and Jimmy Arias right after this on CBS Sports Network.
Starting to cool off here at U.S. Open qualifying on CBS Sports Network, presented by Heineken. Shadows creeping across the plaza where Jimmy Arias and I have been hanging out here on day 2 of qualifying at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center. And what a match we just saw. Stefan Kozlov benefiting, of course, as Mitchell